All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to draw your brother's attention to a news article here. This is coming from a recent, which I believe could be a recent staged event that took place in Brooklyn at a subway. Now, the brother Malcolm have already done a video on this. So I mean, as I was, scrolling through blacklistednews.com, I found this article and decided that I wanted to, give my input on this as well because, um, you know, Satan, which really talking about the so-called white man, through his device, there's going to be a lot of demonization going on. Demonization of the Hebrew Israelites or whatnot. And one of the many, this is just one of many events that could lead up to us being demonized, you know. And this is how the mainstream media wants to portray us. They want to portray us as being these guys, right? Who's racist towards all white people, which that's not the case, okay? And I say that because just because you look like a so-called white person does not mean that you're an Edomite, okay? You can look like a so-called white person and be of our nation. Remember, you are who your father is on your nationality is based on who your father is because the man carries the seed. The seed lies where? In the man's nutsack. So your nationality is based on who your father is on your father's side of the family. That means that if your father's lineage on your father's side goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian, you are a Hebrew Israelite regardless of what you look like. So they're trying to portray us to be these guys that hate all white people. Look, just because you look like a so-called white person does not mean that you are a Edomite. And we've been teaching this for a long time. You always got to judge by the spirit. And it's the same thing with black people. Just because your skin is brown does not mean that you're a Hebrew Israelite. Okay? There is a such thing as chocolate-covered Edomites. Okay? If your father's lineage on your father's side goes back to Esau, you're an Edomite regardless of what you look like. So this truth is not some black or white thing. Okay? And furthermore, Israel has been scattered on the four corners of the earth. So there's going to be Israelites that's going to look like Chinese and Japanese and Arabian people, East Indians, Africans, so-called white people, Hawaiians. There's going to be Israelites that's going to look like Arabs, East Indians. And then there's going to be Israelites that's going to look like Denzel Washington. It's just plain and simple, man. Okay? So here, this article says, kill all the whiteys. Suspect in Brooklyn subway shooting spouted hateful black nationalist rhetoric, praised beautiful 9/11. Okay, and this don't sound like something that Jake would do, And like the brother Malcolm has said in this video, this seems a little too tactical. Now from what I've heard, this man released a smoke grenades on the subway. Then he proceeded to shoot. Like, what's the motive behind that? Who releases smoke grenades on the subway and then commences the shooting? And a lot of you people who believe this nonsense right here, you're just a zombie. You're stupid. Okay, accept it. Because there's no way in hell Jake is going to get a hold of some smoke grenades and release them on the subway. You know. Now again, I believe this could be a staged event because they really want to demonize us. The so-called elites, they see how this truth, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Holy Scriptures, the word of Yahweh, which is Yahweh Shai, is being pushed out to the four corners of the earth, and they see how the elect is waking up all around the world. So they want to do everything they can in their power to get us off the streets from teaching. So, in what appears to be the only real news concerning the manhunt for the suspect in yesterday's shooting, New York City Mayor Eric Adams appeared on Good Morning America and NPR Wednesday morning to confirm that Frank James is the only suspect in yesterday's mass shooting in Brooklyn, per NPR, by way of the AP. Investigators had initially been searching for Frank R. James as a person of interest. Police said Tuesday that James rented a van possibly connected to Tuesday's violence. And let me just throw this out here as well. Every time there's an event like this, somehow these suspects get a hold of some kind of van or something. Like, where the hell do these vans keep coming from? What was it no, it was, I believe it was 2 years ago when Jake, when something similar came up with Jake. I think he attacked a so-called Jewish community, and this man was in a fucking van. Why is it that every time events like this happen, somehow the suspect is lying in a van somewhere, and nobody ever wants to question why these cases all sound too similar to one another. Like, where's Jake getting these vans from? Where's all these vans coming from? And let me guess, there was a bunch of tactical equipment inside the van, right? Bulletproof armors, AKs, grenades. Come on, man. Adams, speaking to NPR on Wednesday morning, did not offer details on why officials were now seeking James as a suspect beyond citing new information that became available to the team. And ironically, these people who were being shot at on the subway train, they claimed that not a single bullet reached them, which leads me to believe that those people on that subway train could have also been crisis actors. Meanwhile, Adams confirmed that the search is still active. The search is still active. So apparently, they have not even found this guy. Like, here it is. This man released smoke grenades on the subway train, and unleashed several bullets. And you mean telling me that they have not caught this guy yet? That does not strike as something being very suspicious to you people. As for whether he has been updated to a suspect, excuse me, what do you mean if he has not been updated to a suspect, right? Anyways, just WSJ just reported minutes ago that he has officially been upgraded to suspect. Adams said earlier that the New York Police Department believed he had acted alone. All right, so and here's what you see. You see what appears to be there is smoke grenades. You see how the place is all smoked up. Adam also said he's open to new technologies like installing metal detectors in entrances of the subway stations. And whenever you hear about things like this, you really gotta ponder what they're really plotting behind the scenes. Because you better best believe they got something even bigger planned out. Minutes after a headline hit claiming the New York Police Department had finally apprehended the main suspect in yesterday's shooting, a retraction has been issued clarifying that the suspect remains at large. Excuse me? But, anyways, it says minutes after reporting that the main suspect in yesterday's Brooklyn shooting had been apprehended and was in custody, the headline has mysteriously been retracted. ABC News is reporting that the New York Police Department has finally apprehended the main suspect in yesterday's brutal shooting at a subway station in Brooklyn in the Brooklyn neighborhood of Sunset Park. Okay, it says, meanwhile, the New York Times reported earlier that the MTA had resumed full subway service at the station following the completion of New York Police Department investigation. And if none of this shit don't sound surprising to you, man, suspect to you, then I don't know, man. You just lost in the sauce. That's pretty much all I'm gonna read there. Second Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. And the whole purpose of them creating these different staged events is because really they're trying to one up. They're trying to one up on us. They're trying to get one up on us. You see, but that's not going to work. Okay, because as it is written, if it at all be possible, they shall deceive the very elect. But it's not possible. So you're not going to deceive the Lord's elect. We know these different events are staged. Okay. And I'm still waiting for you devils to answer my question. What kind of nigga goes on a subway station, releasing smoke grenades? And then on top of that, the title of the article said, all whiteys can die, right? So-called white people are not the only ones who use the subway. What about the Chinese and Japanese people? What about the Arabs? What about the East Indians? What about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians? Okay, so-called white people are not the only ones using the subways, which further goes to show you that they're really aimed at demonizing us and making us out to be these super racist. Like, don't get me wrong, we are racist. The word racist just means to favor your own race. I'm for my nation, but the elect at the moment of our nation, I'm for the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay? I don't even care about the 2/3 of our people. So it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not ignorant of these different staged shootings, because we know that there is a purpose behind all this. They want to demonize us. Luke 8:17, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Let's see if anything pops up here. The book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, because there's a secret counsel behind these staged events. And that secret counsel is ultimately to implement martial law. See, they need to come up with a justifiable reason to send martial law after us. And we already know they're going to try to tie events like this to the so-called black Hebrew Israelites. And we're not black either. There's no such thing as a black person. Okay? The hair on my head is black. My headphones is black. My space heater is black. Okay? When you look at the screen of your TV when it's turned off, that is black. Okay? We are different shades of brown. We are the Hebrew Israelites according to the Holy Scriptures. And I speak of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians. So Psalms chapter 64 verse 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Right? And ultimately, they're targeting at us in secret, even though they don't want to come out and say it. They're really doing all this to target us, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at them and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares. Privately, they say, who shall see them? And ultimately, that's what they're doing. They are laying snares privately. You see, and this stage shooting right here is no more than a snare that they have set privately, because they're looking for a reason to come in and detain us. But we've been saying for a long time now, what the fuck are you devils waiting for? Come and get us. Okay, you act like we want to stay in this pathetic, wicked, boring kingdom. But anyways, with that I'm gonna say shalom is on to the next one.